The moment 12-year-old Malik whispered that his father worked at NASA, the classroom didn't fall silent, it exploded with laughter. It wasn't just amusement. It was disbelief dipped in cruelty. The kind of mockery that cuts deeper because it's rooted in the unspoken idea that someone who looks like him, who comes from his neighborhood, couldn't possibly belong to the stars. Malik tried to brush it off, but the laughter followed him like a shadow. In the hallways, at lunch, on the bus ride home. Every snicker tightened something inside him. But the real twist wasn't the laughter, it was what none of them knew. Malik's father wasn't just a NASA employee. What he did was so classified that even his son didn't know the details. And the day the school called him in, the truth would walk through the door in full uniform, transforming embarrassment into stunned silence. Because sometimes the universe has a way of correcting people who judge too quickly. And when the truth arrived, it would shake the entire school. Wait a second. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments. And make sure to subscribe for more powerful and inspiring stories just like this one. Malik was the kind of kid who always stayed quietly in the background. Not because he lacked confidence, but because the world around him often made him feel like staying unnoticed was safer. He loved science, astronomy especially, and spent his evenings glued to documentaries about galaxies and spacecraft. His room was a tiny observatory, posters of planets on the walls, glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling, and a small telescope he used to trace constellations before bedtime. His father, Commander Elias Brooks, was rarely home. He was a quiet hero, a man who rose before dawn, dressed in a crisp military uniform, and vanished into classified facilities Malik had only seen from a distance. Malik didn't brag about his father's job. Not because he didn't want to, but because no one ever believed him. At school, he was one of the only black kids in an advanced honors class filled with students who were used to a certain kind of lifestyle: private tutors, weekend science camps, expensive robotics kits. Malik had none of that. But he had curiosity, grit, and a father who taught him to reach for things higher than the world told him he deserved. Still, when the teacher asked students to share about their parents' professions, Malik felt a familiar weight building in his chest. He hesitated, but honesty slipped out. "My dad works at NASA." The laughter started instantly. And the damage began. The laughter didn't end that day. It evolved, turned sharper. More humiliating. At lunch the next afternoon, a group of boys reenacted Malik's moment in exaggerated voices. One student mimicked a rocket sound, yelling, "Bro thinks he's from outer space too." Another pretended to hold a helmet, announcing loudly, "Ground control to Major Cap." Even the teacher's expression from the day before, raised brows and forced smile, played over in Malik's mind. She hadn't corrected the students. She hadn't defended him. She hadn't believed him. Every dismissal chipped at Malik until he began avoiding eye contact, shrinking into himself. Even the galaxies on his bedroom ceiling felt smaller. A few days later, the school held a career week. Parents were invited to speak about their jobs. Posters went up in the halls showing pictures of firefighters, nurses, and local business owners. Malik didn't mention it to his father. Why would he? Why ask a man who was barely home, who already carried the weight of responsibilities Malik couldn't understand? But the universe doesn't need permission to interfere. His teacher approached him after class, voice slow and patronizing, as if addressing a confused child. She said she'd heard Malik's claim about NASA and suggested gently that he clarify the truth before career day. He stared at her. Her doubt wasn't rooted in logic. It was rooted in what she assumed about him. That night at home, Malik said nothing. But fathers notice things. Commander Brooks watched his son pick at dinner, shoulders slumped, eyes dull. "Everything okay at school?" he asked. Malik shrugged, the universal gesture for "not really, but I don't want to talk about it." The next morning, without warning, Commander Brooks emailed the school. He said he would be attending career day. When Malik found out, his stomach twisted. Would this make things worse? Would they laugh harder? But the stage was already set. And the universe was moving. Career day arrived with buzzing energy. Parents filled the auditorium, some in suits, some in scrubs, and some in work uniforms. Students sat on the floor, whispering and scanning the room for Malik's father. He wasn't there. The whispers grew. See? He made it up. NASA dad my foot. Malik's chest tightened. Maybe his father got called into work. Maybe something classified came up. Maybe the double doors swung open. Man stepped inside wearing a pristine white space operations uniform embroidered with the NASA insignia, mission patches, and a name badge that read Commander Elias Brooks, Flight Engineer, International Space Systems Division. Gasps rippled through the room. He moved with calm authority. Each step echoing across the stunned auditorium. The teacher's jaw dropped. Students who had mocked Malik sat frozen. Commander Brooks walked straight to the stage, nodded at the staff, and began his presentation showing images of spacecraft, mission modules, spacewalk preparations, and training facilities so classified they blurred certain screens. Whispers turned to awe, shock, silence. Done. He said the line that shattered the room. My proudest mission isn't any I've flown. It's raising a son who dreams big even when others doubt him. After the presentation, students swarmed Malik not with laughter, but with questions, admiration, and apologies wrapped in awkward stutters. But Malik didn't need their validation. What mattered was the pride swelling in his chest when his father placed a hand on his shoulder in front of everyone. Word spread across the school. Teachers whispered about it in the lounge. The principal emailed the entire district. Malik wasn't just the kid who made things up. He became the kid whose father touched the stars, but more importantly, he became the reminder that assumptions are dangerous, especially when aimed at kids who already fight. Stereotypes every day. Racism doesn't always shout. Sometimes it laughs. Sometimes it doubts. Sometimes it dismisses, and sometimes the universe answers back. Many students learned something that day, but the real question is, how many dreams are crushed because someone decides a child doesn't look like greatness? Where are you watching from? Take care.